Halo, dari mana kamu? Kayaknya nih, kalau ada video call di Outlook itu, kalau responnya ada puluhan aku ini, ngetek. Betul itu lagi nama dengan lagi, mari lagi. Mana boleh bilang Okay, Buti. Selamat lagi no. Selamat lagi no. Ini, ada pada kamu. Okay. Okay. Shall I check the one school paper? There's a school paper. Tell me that. Okay. What is the answer for question number 3? Question number 3. Question number 3. A vehicle moves. So I'm referring the paper. The paper means conducted by Fieldwork Center, Thundamore, Thundamore, and paper. Okay, what is the third one? So what is the answer for third question? What is the answer for third question? Third question. Vehicle moves along three semicircular arcs AB, BC, and CD, radii R, 2R, and 3R, respectively, at constant speed of V. The magnitude of the average velocity of its whole journey from A to D will be. What is the answer for that question? Now, this vehicles moves in a three semicircular roads. One is this one. That length is R. So radius of this circle is R. Radius of this circle is R. Then the second one is this one. The radius is 2R. Then the third one is radius is 3R. Radius is 3R. This one is R. So, three of them. Then R and then 2R. AB. Okay, now you are asked to determine, uh, the average velocity of this journey. Now tell me, what is the average velocity? What is the answer? Answer what? Come. where speed is, that the speed is the speed is a constant speed of v, constant speed of v. So what is the definition of average velocity? What is the definition of average velocity? Average velocity definition එක මොකද්ද? I need answers. What's the definition of average velocity? Yes, total displacement over total time. Total time displacement over total time. Now tell me, what is the average velocity of this journey? Average velocity. Then you need to determine average total displacement. What is total displacement? What is the total displacement of this journey? I need answers from everyone. Vinith, Gandhi, what is the total displacement of this journey? Yashir? Lasit, listen. What is the total displacement of this journey? I need value, Gandhi. Displacement. I'm asking displacement, not distance. Value. Yes, it is 4. No, 4. It is this object starts the journey from A and ends at D. Therefore, displacement is A to D. A to D displacement is killed. It is 4. It is 4. Displacement is 4. R 4. Therefore, A to D displacement is 4R. Now you need to determine time only. Time. You need to determine time. How to determine time? How to determine time? Here not how to determine the time. Nithan. How to determine the time, Puti? That is the reason you are given this path. No? Because according to the given data, you can determine the distance of this path. Distance. And you are given the constant speed. Therefore, if you are given the distance and the speed, then you can determine the time, no? You can determine total distance of this journey and you are given the constant speed. Therefore, distance over speed is time. Therefore, the distance is circumference of this arc length, and this arc length. There are 3 arc length. So this one is 5R. This one is 2πr. Radius is 2r. Here radius is 2πr. Then this one. Method. Three 5R over 2. තේරෙනවද? This is the total distance. Total distance travel 5r, 2r, 3r, 3r plus 3r over 2. 3r plus 3r over 2. That means 9r over 2. 9r over 2. 9r over 2. 9r over 2. Velocity is v. Velocity is v. Then make it a camera with this one will be cancelled out. 6 v 6v over 95. 6v over 95 again 2 over 35. 2 over v over 35. Therefore, answer is answer number 2. Answer number 2. 2v over 35. Answer number 2. Sorry. Whether 3, 5R, sorry, whether 5R, whether 2, 5R, whether 3, 5R. Sorry, 3, 5R or 2 R. Right. 3, 5R. Whether 6, 5R. Sorry, Harry. Whether 3, 5R, 2, 5R, and 2, 5. And 5. So 5 either what they have like. Whether now about 6, 5R over V. And about 2V over V. 2V over 3. Yeah. අර දෙපාරක් ගිහුව ඉතින් සායක ප්‍රශ්න නැතිලා තියෙනවා මම අර දෙකක් කරලා දුන්නේ ආන්සර් එක මොකද පුතේ ආන්සර් නම්බර් 2 තමයි ආන්සර් නම්බර් 2 තමයි මෙතන 65R වෙන්න ඕනේ තේරුණා සුස if you got that one please raise the hand okay then look into the question number 5 and 6 5 and 6 question number 5 and 6 tackle again what is the answer for question number 5 now you are given a force system. You are asked to determine the resultant force. Now, this vector system is represented by both magnitude and direction. Both magnitude and direction using this figure. අපි questions ටික කරන ගමන් පොඩ්ඩක් මේ අහගන්න මම අර එදා කතා කරපු දෙයට මට ළමයි කිව්ව දෙයට respond කරලා තිබ්බා මේ මොනවද extra class එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මොකද්ද මෙහෙමයි මට බැරි වෙලා හරි කියන්නේ හැම ළමයටම එකම දවසේ මේ එන්න බැරි වුණොත් මට මෙහෙම option එකක් තියෙනවා එකම class එක ඒ කියන්නේ එකම unit එක ටයිම්ස් වස් දෙක දාන එක වෙන කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ නැත්නම් එහෙම වොත් එම බදාදා කියන දවස සහ තව එක දවසක් කියන්නේ මේ ආයේ ලෙසන් එකම කරන්න තව දවසක් අපිට දාගන්න පුළුවන් ටයිම් සෝස් දෙකක් දාගන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? ඒක මේ මොකක්ද? අපි ඒක 2025 එක්සෑම් එකෙන් පස්සේ තමයි පුතේ ඒක වෙන්නේ. හරිද? ඊළඟට ඊළඟට තව කතන්දරයක් මට කියන්න ඕනේ මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ සෙකන්ඩ් ටර්ම් මේ එක්සෑම් එක කවුරු තිබ්බද කියලා සමහර ඒවා තව තියලා නැතුව ඇති. තව තියෙනවා සෙකන්ඩ් ටර්ම් එක්සෑම් තව තියලා නැති කට්ටිය තව තියලා නැහැ. ජූලයි 21st. මේවා දැන් අපි එතනදී ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අර ප්‍රොවින්ෂල් පේපර්ස් ආවොත් ප්‍රොවින්ෂල් පේපර්ස් වල අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ කරත් නොකරත් මේ ටර්ම් එකේ ටික අහන්න පුළුවන්. ප්‍රොවින්ෂල් පේපර්ස් දුන්නොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ස්කෝර වල අනිවාර්යෙන් කරත් නොකරත් අර ටර්ම් එකට අහන්න ටික අහන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? එහෙම වුණොත් එහෙම අර මොකක්ද ඕන මට එක ඔප්ෂන් එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ ඒකට අනිවාර්ය වේව්ස් වලින් අහනවා වේව්ස් වලින් අහන නිසා ඕනනම් මට එක ඔප්ෂන් එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ මොකක්ද මේ දවස් ටිකට ඕන මට වෙන ටයිම් එකක් මේ හොයාගන්න බෑ නමුත් අර බදාදා රෑ 8:30 11:30 ඕනනම් වේව්ස් ටික ඒ කියන්නේ රිවිෂන් එකක් විදියට ඕගොල්ලන්ට යන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් කොහොමද වේව්ස් රිවිෂන් එකක් එනවා 25 කට්ටියගේ. හැබැයි ඒක එනකොට 21st වෙනිදා 21st කියලා කියන්නේ next week නෙවෙයි ළඟ week නෙමෙයි. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ next week එකේ ගොඩක් වෙලා next week එකේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ රිවිෂන් එකක් ඒ 25 කට්ටියට. 25 කට්ටියගේ next week එකේ ඊළඟ week එකේ වෙයි හැබැයි. එහෙම වුණොත් ඒක සන්ඩේ උදේ දාගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි 21st වෙන නිසා මම බැලුවේ ඔය වගේ ටයිම් එකේ තියෙන නිසා මේ ඕනනම් මට එක ඔප්ෂන් එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් Wednesday 8:30 11:30 පොන්චේ ඒ කියන්නේ නෝට් එකක් නෙවෙයි නෝට් එකක් නෙවෙයි අපිට මේ වේව්ස් පාඩම අනුගමන පාඩම නෙවෙයි මේ නෝතර ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් දැක්කහම ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ කරගන්න නොලෙජ් එකක් තියෙන්න එපා. අන්න ඒකට අදාළව ඕනනම් මේ මට කතා කරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒක මේ මට ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ පොසිටිව් ෆීඩ්බැක් එකක් දෙනවා නම් අවුලක් නැහැ. නැත්තම් මොකද හැමෝටම ඔය කියන දවසේ නම් බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ ඒක නිසා පොඩි රීකැප් එකක් විදිහට දෙන්න පුළුවන් වේව්ස් වල අදාළ ටික. හරි. ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ මොකද්ද? ඒ ඔප්ෂන් එක දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ යුනිට් එක නෙමෙයි මම කරන්නේ. යුනිට් එක කරනවා නෙමෙයි. යුනිට් එක අපි කොහොමද මේ කරන්නේ මේ ඊට පස්සේ මම කියවනේ අපි මොකද්ද Thursday Tuesday අපි වේව්ස් කරනවා කියලා. Tuesday වේව්ස් පාඩම කරන්න මම අද කොහොමද මේ rotational motions පාඩම ඉවර කරන්න ඕනේ. circular motion part එක. මේ circular motion part එක ඉවර කරගත්තාම තමයි අපිට පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකන් අර විදිහේ ඔප්ෂන් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. අර විදිහේ ඔප්ෂන් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම වුණොත් එහෙනම් පොඩ්ඩක් මේ ශරීරයෙන් නම් පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඕන බැරි වෙලා හරි ඉන්න බැරි දරුවෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් රෙකෝඩින් එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න ඒ වුණාට හැබැයි මතක තියාගන්න මේක අර ඔෆිෂියල් පාඩම නෙවෙයි. ඔෆිෂියල් පාඩම නෙවෙයි. ඒ නිසා මේ පාඩම කරන විදිය සහ මේ මොකද මේ නෝට් එකක් දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ ඔෆිෂියල් පාඩම නෙවෙයි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ එක්සෑම් එකට පුංචි හෙල්ප් එකක් දෙන්න කියලා මම බැලුවේ ඔය තියෙන දවස් ටිකට. හරි. එහෙමවත් එහෙම මට පොඩ්ඩක් මම ටිකක් දාන්නම් මැසේජ් එකක් දාන්න group එකේ මට පොඩ්ඩක් feedback එකක් දෙන්න. ළමයිලා කියනවා නම් මට පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. මේක ටෙම්පරරි ඔය. ටෙම්පරරි කියලා කියන්නේ මේ ඔය ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔය ජූලයි 3 week එක වෙනකන් ජූලයි 3 week එක වෙනකන් අපිට මේ ගන්න පුළුවන් තරම් මේ ටික කරලා ගන්න. හරි. මම ඒකෙදි හැබැයි සිම්පල් හාමොනික් මෝෂන් අල්ලන්නේ නැහැ. සිම්පල් හාමොනික් මෝෂන් එක මොකක්ද කියලා මම කියනවා විතරයි. ඒකෙදි ඒ කතන්දරේ මම කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ඔය කතා කරන්න ගත්තොත් ඒක විතරයි කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක හේන පැත්ත. ඒ මැතමැටිකල් පාර්ට් එක වැඩි. මැතමැටිකල් පාර්ට් එක ටිකක් වැඩි. ඒ නිසා ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් තියලා ඒක ටික තමයි මම පොඩ්ඩක් වේව්ස් වල පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරන්න බැරි. මම පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට වේව්ස් වල කොච්චර අහනවද කියලා. හරිද? මම පොඩ්ඩක් මේ බලලා කියන්න වේව්ස් වල කොච්චර අහනවද කියලා. හරි. මොකද වේව්ස් වල කොච්චරක් අහනවද කියන එකත් එක්ක තමයි ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කරන්න කියන්නේ. හරි. හරි. හරි මෙතන A B C D okay here පුතේ A B C D then there's another vector from C to D. D is one vector, then A to B another vector, A to B another vector, B to C another vector. Right. First thing you need to determine whether there is a closed loop or not. Is there any closed loop with it? එහෙම. ඒවල පොඩ්ඩක් අපි මේ ඩිස්කස් කරන්න මට පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරලා බලන්න මේ මොකක්ද හොඳ ඔප්ෂන් එක කියලා. වේව්ස් ලෙසන් එකේ හරි නැත්නම් අපිට තව ෆ්ලුයිඩ් ලෙසන් එක නම් අපිට පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. ෆ්ලුයිඩ් ලෙසන් එක හරි ඒ කියන්නේ මේ කොහොම හරි ඕගොල්ලන්ට වඩා හොඳ ඔප්ෂන් එකක් කතා කරමු. Yes, it's true, right? ABC, no? ABC, yes, ABC is a closed loop, therefore we can remove it. Then there are only two vectors, DC and AD, therefore its resultant should be directed from D to B, from D to B, from D to B. Therefore, answer should be D to B. Answer number 5. Very good. Question number 6, what is the answer? Question number 6. And I have a Liam again had a question here. Question number 6, what is the answer? Is the second thing, second one? Second one. Okay. Now this one is 120 degree with A. Initially, this object moves into this direction. Therefore, initial velocity is at this direction. Then the final velocity is into this direction. So if you extend those two, so this is your quadrilateral So this one is 120. This one is 90. This one is 90. This 120. 120 plus 120 plus 180 means 300. Therefore, this should be 60. This should be 60. This should be 60. And okay. බලන්න පුතේ කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Now what is the answer? Now you need to determine what is the angle between them, no? Angle between them. Then you can determine easily the difference vector using 2 d equal 2b sin theta over 2. 2b sin theta over 2. So what is the angle between them? Here there's one vector v, then second vector, sorry, first vector is here p. This angle is 120. This angle is 120. So you need to determine difference of velocity. That means this one minus this one. This one minus this one. That means you have to add. You have to add v plus minus v. V මේකනේ පළවෙනි එක. ඔයාලා හිතන විදිය තේරුම් ගන්න. You have to add v plus minus v. V plus minus v. V plus minus v කියලා කියන්නේ minus v කියලා කියන්නේ මේක අනිත් පැත්ත. Now you have to add them. Now you have to take the resultant force of them. You have to take the resultant force of them. Then now angle is 60 putte. Now you have to take the resultant force. So resultant force should be in this direction. That means there is a direction of difference force. There is a direction of difference. Therefore, definitely the difference should be in this direction. ඒක තමයි අනිවාර්යයෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හොයන්න දෙයක් නෑ අනිවාර්යයෙන් ඒක තමයි තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Answer එක answer number 3 වෙන්න ඕනේ. And ඒක අවගොල්ලන්ද මේ මොනවද circular motions කතා කරනකොට ඔක තේරෙයි. අනිවාර්යයෙන් velocity difference එක. Difference of velocity should be into the center. Therefore, there is only one answer like that. So you can prove that one. So here, now this is addition. Now this is addition. Therefore, both vectors are equal in magnitude. Then addition should be 2b cos theta over 2. 2b cos theta over 2. That means 2b cos theta over 2 means cos 30. Cos 30 means root 3 over 2. That means root 3b. Answer is root 3b. Answer is root 3b. තේරුණාද? පැහැදිලිද මේක? If you got my explanation, please raise the hand. Okay. I will explain it again. Everyone, please listen to me. Please, everyone, please listen to me. I will explain it again. Now, this is the second vector. This one is the first vector. You need to determine the difference. Difference means final vector minus initial vector. Final vector minus initial vector. Therefore, if you draw these two vectors, final vector is like this. Initial vector is like this. Initial vector is like this. So you need to determine the difference of these two. Difference of these two. V final vector minus initial vector means final vector plus negative vector of initial vector. Negative vector of initial vector. This is the final vector. So this is the initial vector. So you need to determine the negative vector of initial vector. That means the opposite vector. Now you need to add them. That means you have to take the resultant force. Now it is very easy. have the resultant force of two similar magnitude vectors. 2p cos theta over 2. 2p cos theta over 2. That means 2 into v cos theta over 2 means half angle of this one. That means cos 30. 2p cos 30. Cos 30 means root 3 over 2. Over here. Answer is root 3. Now, you know the addition of these two vectors goes in this direction. Therefore, this should be the direction of the difference. Why? This is a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. Therefore, internal angle of quadrilateral should be 360. Internal angles of addition of internal angles of quadrilateral should be 360. This is a 90. This angle is 90. This angle is 90 as they are tangent to the circle. This one is given 120. Here, 120 plus 180 is 300. Therefore, balance is 60. Balance is 60. Did you get my point? If you get my point, please raise the hand. Thank you. Then the subtraction if you are given a subtraction, I think it is very easy to add the negative vector. Then you can determine the direction of the subtracted vector very easy. Okay. Then the seventh one. What is the answer for seventh one? Seventh one, what is the answer? Take a question. What is the answer for the seventh one? The car accelerates from rest at a constant rate of simple x for some time t1. After which it decelerates at a constant rate y and comes to rest in comes to rest in a further time t2. Total time elapsed is capital T. Consider the following statement. T1 over T2 is y over x. The maximum speed acquired by the car is xy capital T. There's a calculation. What is the answer? What is the answer? Now, it is given here T, here D. Now, initial acceleration is x, deceleration is y. The time travel with that acceleration is t1 and time taken to decelerate is t2. The total time is capital T, that means t1 plus t2 is capital T. This one is x, this one is y, that means gradient. If this gradient is x, and time taken is t1, therefore this height should be equal to x into t1, and that one also equal to y into t2, gradient into x gap, Gradient into x cap. Gradient into x cap is equal y. Gradient into x cap is equal to y height. Y height. Therefore, y height is common for both. Both this gradient put in. Okay. If you take this gradient, y into t2 is equal to y into t2. This height is y into t2. And if you consider this triangle, this height is equal x into t1. දැන් මේ වාසය කියන්න ඕනේ මතක් වෙන්න ඕනක් ගාලා කරන්න. දැන් අපි කරලා තියෙන්නේ gradient into x gap is equal y height. Okay. Gradient into x gap is equal y height. Okay. Therefore, x into t1 is equal x y into t2. Therefore, statement number A, t1 over t2. T1 over T2 is equal here the y over x. That is correct. Man. T1 over T2 is equal x එක පරලා යනවා y එක උඩ යනවා y over x. ඒක හරියට එතකොට. බලන්න second one. The maximum speed acquired by the car is xyt over x plus y. මේක තේරෙනවද දුසන්? If you got that one, please raise that. If you got this one, please raise that. What is the gradient? Gradient is tan theta. Tan theta is equal y over x. Y over x is equal gradient. Y over x is equal gradient. Therefore, y is equal gradient into x. Gradient into x. Therefore, this one is x. Here, gradient is given as x put. This is gradient into x. May x gap is equal y height. Gradient into x gap is equal y height. And then the maximum speed acquired by the car is xyt over x plus y. Xyt over x plus y. So here T1 and T2 are not in the answer. Therefore, you had to remove that one. So you know maximum speed is equal xt1 over y2. Okay? The maximum speed acquired is here. So this is the maximum speed. The maximum speed is equal xt1 or yt2. But in the answer, there is no T1, no T2. Then you can use this relationship, you know, capital T is equal T1 plus T2 put. Therefore, you can use that one. अब एक एकदम ये equation है ध्यान देवे यार, है equation है ध्यान देवे this is the maximum height. This means V. Okay, this is V. You know V over X. V over gradient is equal time T1. Well, V over X is equal time T1. And because you know V over T1, V over T1 is equal X. V over T1 is equal X. Therefore, V over X is equal time T1. Link එක මොකක් කරේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද? Link එක මට හරි මම ආයෙත් link එක දාන්න මොකක් කරේ. සමහර මොකද ලොග් වෙන්න බැරි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මට ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ගන්න. හරිද? Okay. So if you know this height, V means this height pute. Therefore, it is very clear y over x is equal gradient. Therefore, x should be equal y over gradient. X should be equal y over gradient. Therefore, T1 should be equal y over gradient. Y over gradient. Therefore, T2 is equal y over gradient. මෙයා මතකෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? මේවා මතකෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ආයසරයක් මේවා prove කර ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. හරිද? y axis is equal gradient into x. X axis is equal y over gradient. Y over gradient. Y axis is equal gradient into x. ඒවා කෙලින්ම ඉන්න ඕනේ. දඩපඩ ගාලා ඉන්න ඕනේ ඒවා. හරි? ඒවා ආයසරයක් prove කරන්න එපා. හරිද? දැන් කපාට ගුරු නැත්තම් ආයසරයක් මේ විදිහට යන්න. මේ විදිහට යන්න. But you have familiarize it. You have familiarize it. That means you have to do lot of questions. Lot of questions means please go through the essay tube. Essay tube. There are a lot of questions regarding VT curves. So please do that. Then you can memorize those things. Therefore, this one is අතරම මේ අපිට උනත් මට උනත් මේක දැන් මතක අපි මැත්ස් වලට කරනවා. දැන් මැත්ස් වලට VT curves කියලා කියන්නේ වෙනමම මේ ලෙසන් එකක් පොතේ. මැත්ස් කරන කට්ටිය දන්නවනේ මැත්ස් වලට VT curves කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් එතකොට අපිට මේවා මේ හිත හිතා ඉන්න වෙලාවක් නැහැ. හිත හිතා ඉන්න වෙලාවක්ම නැහැ. කර්ව් එක ආවම දඩපඩ ගාලා මේ අපි දාගෙන යන්න ඕනේ ඔය ලෙන්ස් ටික. නැත්තම් කරන්න බෑ වෙලාවක් නැහැ. හරිද? ඒක නිසා ඒ අර කරලා හුරු වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක නිසා පුතේ මම කියන්නේ you have to do lot of questions. Those kind of questions were in our tute. So still you cannot memorize that thing. Please go through those questions putte. When you are doing those questions, if you realize any problematic area, please let me know. I will assist you personally. Okay. Then T1 plus T2 should be equal T. T1 plus T2 should be equal T. Therefore, addition of these two is equal capital T. Therefore, V over X plus V over Y is equal capital T. Therefore, V is equal x, y, t over x plus 1. X plus 1. Therefore, second statement also correct. If you got this one, please raise the hand. තේරෙනවද උස්සන්න? මේ ගත්ත එක තේරෙනවද උස්සන්න? අවශ්‍ය ලියා ගන්න. අවශ්‍ය ලියා ගන්න. මම එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන එක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරනවා ටිකක් වේගෙන්. එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන එක ටිකක් වේගෙන් කරනවා මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ ඒකට හුරු වෙන්න ඕනි. හරිද? හැබැයි මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට ටයිම් එක දෙනවා ලියා ගන්න. ටයිම් එක දෙනවා ලියා ගන්න කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලන් තනියෙන් හිතන්න මම ටයිම් එක දෙනවා. හරිද? තනියෙන් හිතන්න ටයිම් එක දෙනවා. හැබැයි මම එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන ටිකක් වේගෙන් කරනවා. ඒකට හේතුව ඔයාලා ටක් ටක් ගාලා මේ විදිහට මගෙත් එක්කම එන්න ඕන. ක්ලික් කරගන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද? හරි? එහෙම නැතු ස්පීඩ් එක හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. So if you need any thing to write, then you can write anything. It is free only. හරි. ඔයාලට මෙතන ඔයාලට කැමති දෙයක් ලියා ගන්න ඕන නම් මේක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරගෙන එහෙම කියලා ලියා ගන්න. හැබැයි මම ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් දෙන්න ඕන දෙයක් නම් තමයි මම දෙන්නේ. Okay. Okay, then next one. See. We have to read on all of them because there's no chance of eliminating of any question, any answer. The average velocity of the car during the periods of acceleration and the deceleration are same of the bus treatment. So see. The average velocity of car during the period of acceleration and deceleration are the same. Average velocity. How to take average velocity? How to take average velocity? Displacement over time. Then you need to determine displacement over time. You cannot say this one is not equal. I don't know because there's so many relationships between T1 and T2, Y and X. There are relationships with it. Therefore, I don't know whether they are equal or not. Therefore, definitely I have to calculate. And now this length can be written as common. How to determine that thing? How to determine that thing? How to determine the thing? කියන්න බලන්න. කොහොමද මේක කරන්න කියලා? Without any calculation, I can say, whether they are equal or not. Average velocity. Without any calculation, I can say whether they are equal or not. Or or else I can calculate. Or else I can calculate. But remember this thing, this my argument. Without any calculation, I can say the average velocity of this section and this section are equal. How did I get that from? කොහොමද මම ඒක ගත්තේ? මේවා තමයි පුතේ ෂෝට් මෙතඩ්ස්. හොඳේ මේවා තමයි ෂෝට් මෙතඩ්ස්. මේවා තමයි අපි ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ ෂෝට් මෙතඩ්ස්. නැත්තම් ඉතින් රට්ට පැටලෙනවා. No, it is independent of the time. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about time. No, no, we cannot say. We cannot say. But I think that short method is given. That method is given. ඔයගොල්ලෝ නෝට් එක බලනකොට කොටු කරලා ඇති ලස්සනට. කොටු කරලා තරු දාලා පාට කරලා බැබලි ඇති වගේ. xt1 is velocity. Highest velocity. That is not average velocity. xt and yt, xt1 and yt2 means that is the highest velocity, not the average velocity. Okay. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ නැහැ ඉතින් මම මතක තියෙනවා ඉතින් මිනිස්සුන්ට. හරි. Look at this side. Look at this side. So what is the average velocity? I need answers from everyone. Okay? Everyone, please listen to me. Everyone, please listen to me very carefully. What is the average velocity? Tell me, Bhuti, what is the average velocity? No. I cannot say. What is the average velocity? What is the average velocity? It is total displacement over time. No. It is total displacement over time. Average velocity. Total displacement over time taken. Total displacement over time taken. And now tell me, what is the meaning of average of two velocities? Average of two velocities. What is the meaning of average of two velocities and average velocity? Average velocity is this one. What is the meaning of average of two velocities? Rashmita, what is the meaning of average of two velocities? Dinath, Gandhi, what is the meaning of this one? Average of two velocities. Yes. This is the just average of two numbers. Suppose you are given 10 and 20. You are given 10 and 20. There are two numbers to put. So how to take the average of those two numbers? You have to add those two numbers and divide it by 2. So that is the average of two values. Okay. Therefore, average of two velocities means v1 plus v2 over 2. This is the meaning of average of two velocities. That is different with this one. So average velocities means displacement, total displacement over time. Total displacement over time. But average of two velocities means v1 plus v2 over 2. There is one single location one single case, one single incidence, these two are equal to each other. These two are equal to each other. What is that? What is the location? There's only one single occasion. These two are equal. What is that? Two means? Two means what? No. ඔය මතක නෑනේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට දැන් ඕක කරපුවා. දැන් ආයි 12 වලටම ආයි යන්න වෙනවා. Yes, very good, Gary. Yes, sorry, Shashwat, yes. You are correct. If the acceleration is a constant, average velocity is equal to the average of two velocities. You can easily determine that using this equation. S equal u plus v over t 2 times t. From this equation, it is very clear. S over t is equal u plus v over 2. U plus v over 2. S over t means average velocity. This means average of two velocities. Average of two velocities. Therefore, average velocity is equal to average of two velocities when there is a constant acceleration. When there's a constant acceleration. When there's a constant acceleration, average velocity is equal to average of two velocities. Average of two velocities. Therefore, if we consider about this part, there's a constant acceleration. If you consider about this part, there's a constant acceleration. Therefore, if we consider about this part, what is the average of average velocity? Average velocity is equal average of two velocities. Average of two velocities. Initial velocity is 0, final velocity is v. Therefore, average velocity for this section is equal to v over 2. V over 2. Okay. Then, for this section, initial velocity is v, final velocity is 0. Then, average velocity is v over 2. V over 2. Therefore, no need to calculate. No need to calculate. It is very clear. Both sections are separately moving in a constant acceleration condition. Separately moving in a constant acceleration condition. And therefore, average velocity for this section is equal average of two velocities, that is v over 2. Average velocity for this section is equal average of two velocities of, that is v over 2. You can clearly determine that thing using this equation. S equal u plus v over 2 times t. S over t is equal u plus v over 2. So this is average velocity, and this one is average of two velocities. Therefore, average velocity is equal to average of two velocities when there's a constant acceleration condition. Did you get my point? If you get my point, please raise the hand. They know to say. මම ක්‍රියේ ක්වෙස්චන් එක ගොඩක් හොඳයි පේපර් එක මාර හොඳ පේපර් එකයි ලස්සන ක්වෙස්චන්ස් එකක් තියෙනවා. කතා කරන දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා ක්වෙස්චන්ස් වල. හරි. ඒක දාගන්න. When there is a constant acceleration condition, average velocity is equal to average of two velocities. When there is a constant acceleration condition, average velocity is equal to average of two velocities. Remember this one. Therefore, this part is a constant acceleration part. This part is a constant acceleration part. Therefore, average velocity for this section is equal initial velocity plus final velocity over 2. average velocity for this section is equal initial velocity plus final velocity over 2. Okay. Okay. May you can write this one. Write me this one. Average velocity is equal to average of two velocities when there's a constant acceleration condition. Average velocity is equal to average of two velocities when there's a constant acceleration condition. Okay. Then you can write this one. Sorry, according there. S equal U plus V over 2 times T. That means S over T equal U plus V over 2. Therefore, therefore, the initial part and the final part. The initial part and the final part of the graph show constant acceleration conditions separately. Constant acceleration conditions separately. Therefore, average velocity of first section is equal 0 plus V over 2. That means V over 2. Average velocity of second section is equal V plus 0 over 2. That means V over 2. अब मैं रिव्यू कर दूंगी. But remember, if we consider about the entire motion, average velocity is not equal to the average of two velocities. Because if we consider about the entire motion, acceleration is not a constant. Here there's acceleration, here there's a deceleration. Therefore, acceleration is not a constant for the entire motion. But if we consider about these two separately, this one has a constant acceleration, this one has a constant acceleration. Therefore, separately, they have constant acceleration conditions. But if you consider about the entire motion, it has no constant acceleration condition. You have to remember that thing. And okay, then what is the answer for question number 6? Sorry, 8. Answer for question number 8, Tackleberg. Answer the question number 8. So if you got this one, if you got this explanation, please raise the hand. If you got this explanation, please raise the hand. Tena dosa. So if you remember, now there's an additional question, Pute. Now there's an additional question. Two. No. One. Two. It cannot be two, no. No. But if the so okay. Look at the board. Now there's an additional question, Pute. Now you want actually this is past paper question. I think as I remember I have discussed this question with you, but this is an additional question. මට ඒ ඩ්‍රාෆ්ට් එක එවලදී විදිහට මතක නැහැ මම පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් කරලා දෙන්න. Okay. Actually there were some graph like this. There were some graph like this. Then you are asked to determine which graph shows the average velocity. The average velocity is equal to the average of two velocities. Sorry, the answer. Yes. What is the answer? The average velocity. Average velocity. Which one shows the average? Its average velocity equal to the average of two velocities. Average of two velocities. ඒක තිබ්බේ පුතේ average of two velocity කියන විදිහට තිබ්බේ. Vivet, lesson ගාන්ධි. මේ මොකෙන්ද පෙන්නන්නේ average velocity එක average of two velocities වලට equal graph එකක්. සසිදු සසිදු stream. Yasit, Basit, Coco. I need answers from everyone. I need answers from everyone. Coco, හැමෝම දෙන්නෝ. ඔයාලා question එක දාගන්න. Question එක දාගන්න. The following graph represent. The following graph represent. The following graph represent motions of five different vehicles. Five different vehicles. Following graph represents, I will repeat it again. Following graph represent, following graph represent motions of five different vehicles. Motions of five different vehicles. which vehicle shows which vehicle shows which vehicle shows an average velocity which vehicle shows an average velocity equal to the average of two velocities at two corners. Average of two velocities at two corners. Sasan, what is the answer? Steve, Lasit, Yasit, I want your answers. Dhirendra, what is your answer? For answers, Steve, Rasadu, Yasit, Lasit. This is a straight line. Well, I don't know answer. Okay. Alright. Yes. The answer should be 5 only. 5 only. How can we say this one? No. As I told you earlier, if we consider about this part separately, the average velocity is equal to the average of two velocities. If we consider about this part only, average velocity is equal to the average of two velocities. But if we consider about entire motion may has no constant acceleration. So from here to here, one acceleration. From here to here, it is a deceleration. So if we consider about the total motion, there's no constant acceleration condition. Yeah. If so, average velocity should be zero. Initial velocity is zero, final velocity also zero, then the average velocity should be zero. So that is wrong. And therefore, we cannot apply that thing when the acceleration changes with it. Therefore, if the acceleration is a constant, then we can apply that relationship with it. So if we consider about this part only, that is true. If we consider about this part only, that is true. But if we consider about the entire system, that is not true. Then if we consider about this part only, that is true. If we consider about this part only, yes, it has a constant acceleration and that is true. But if we consider about the entire motion, it is not true because here there's one acceleration and here there's another acceleration. Okay. Did you get my point? Teona Tusan, if you got my point, please raise the hand. මේක නිකන් හිතන්නේ මෙතනත් 0 මෙතනත් 0 0 0 දැම්මත් පස්සේ average velocity 0 නේ පුතේ. එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ. මොකද මෙයාගේ displacement එකක් තියෙනවා, time එකක් තියෙනවා. Displacement over time 0 වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. Then answer is answer number 5. Answer number 5. The acceleration should be a constant over the entire motion. Okay. Then what is the answer for question number 8? Question number 8, Barani. Question number 8. What is the answer for question number 8? Fourth one, no? Yes, fourth one. Yes, it is. So by looking at the question, you can take the answer. Addition should be 7. Subtraction should be 2. 3, 3, 3. When two particles P and Q moves towards each other along a straight line with constant speed, they approach each other by 7 meters in every 1 second. Every second, that means their relative velocity should be 7 ms minus 1. Relative velocity. Then, when they move in the same direction along a straight line with their same initial speeds, they move away from each other by 3 meters in every second. Then what is the meaning of this one? If these two objects moves into the same direction, relative velocity is 3 ms minus 1. If they move towards each other, relative velocity is 7. If they move towards each other, relative velocity means addition of two velocities. That means u plus v is 7. If they move in the same direction, relative velocity means difference of velocities, v minus u. Therefore, addition should be 7, subtraction should be 3. Therefore, answer is answer number 4. Without doing any single calculation, you can take the answer if you know the theory. If you know the theory, without doing any single calculation, you can do the question. Okay. Okay, I will explain how to do. Then I will explain how to do. Did you get my point? If you got my point, please raise the hand. Okay. Look at this something. So if you want to take relative velocities, there are 3 occasions. First occasion is moving towards each other. Moving towards each other. Second occasion means moving into the same direction. Moving into the same direction. Then, third one, moving away from each other. Moving away from each other. Those are 3 occasions. So, if the occasion is like this, if they move towards each other, then you can stop one object. You can stop one object. So, if you want to stop one object, you have to apply V to this direction. Then do the same thing to this object. Then, look at this one. To this object, there are 2 velocities into the same direction. Therefore, relative velocity is equal u plus v. So when they move towards each other, relative velocity means addition of 2 velocities. Addition of 2 velocities. Addition of 2 velocities. Then, when they move into the same direction, then you have to stop this one. To stop this one, you can apply v velocity into the backward direction. So do the same thing to A, B. Then it is very clear, if we want to take the velocity into this direction, u is into this direction, v is into other direction. Therefore, resultant velocity is u minus v into this direction. U minus v. Did you get my point? If you got this one, please raise the hand. Right. These 2 velocities into the same direction. Those are 2 vectors. Those are 2 vectors into the same direction. How to take the addition? Both are into the same direction. V plus 2. If they are into the opposite direction, how to take the addition? U minus V, vector addition. Vector addition. Vector addition. Look at this one. If there is 10 Newton into this direction, 4 Newton into this direction, what is the resultant? 10 minus 4 into this direction, that means 6. If there are 2 forces, 10 Newton and 4 Newton into same direction, what is the resultant? 10 plus 4 into this direction. So vector addition. Just like forces, velocity also vectors, the velocity also vectors. That is a way of addition of two vectors. The way of addition of two vectors. Therefore, if two vectors are into the same direction, result means addition of them. If they are into the opposite direction, result means difference of them. Okay? හරිද? මේක දාගන්න ඕන. Then now they are into the opposite direction. Opposite direction. So if you want to take the relative velocity with respect to b, you have to stop this one. How to stop this one? You have to apply v force, v velocity into the backward direction, because this object has velocity into this direction. If you want to stop this one, you want to apply negative velocity. Then minus v plus v, 0. So if you apply additional velocity to this one, do the same thing to this one. That means you have to add v velocity to this. Now it is very clear this object has two velocities in the same direction. This object has two velocities into the same direction. Therefore, here velocity is u plus v into this direction. U plus v into this direction. Yes, you can. You can. If you can stop A instead of B, so then you will have relative velocity of same magnitude into the opposite direction. I just need the magnitude only. Because in the question you asked to determine the magnitude. Therefore, I just need the magnitude only. So if you stop this one, then you will have same velocity but into the other direction. You can try it. Therefore, I can summarize. Now you can summarize. If two objects are moving moving towards each other or moving away from each other. If two objects are moving towards each other or moving away from each other, relative velocity means addition of two velocities. If they move into the same direction, relative velocity means difference of two velocities. That is the short note you have to add. Like this. That is the short note. Okay, that is the short note you have to add to it. Look at that. So if you know this relationship, when you are reading this question, you can take the answer without doing any calculation. Therefore, when they move towards each other, velocity should be at, that means addition should be 7, subtraction should be 3. Therefore, look into the answers. Check the addition. Check the answers whose addition is equal to 7 and subtraction is equal to 3. Therefore, there is only one answer, that is answer number 4. Question number 9. What is the answer? Question number 9. Baran. Question number 9, what is the answer? Question number 9. What is the answer? Question number 9, what is the answer? Tackle again. Then we can move to the other question. Question number 10 also very good question. Question number 9, what is the answer? Question number 9. Tackle again. What is the answer for question number 9? 652. 652. 652. You need to determine the velocity ratio between VB and VC. VB or VC. You need to determine VB or VC. And this is a smooth track. This is a smooth track. Therefore, no need to worry about any friction. How did you get Shashmatu? कहाँ जाते हैं? VB or VC? VB or VC? Hmm. Very good. Go on, it cut here. Gandhi, what is your answer? Nasit? Nesadu? I think you have may try this question paper. No? You have tried? I'll cover my. But I will share the all questions papers. I think you were given a lot of questions paper. Like actually you were given a lot of questions paper. Therefore, again I will share that those questions paper with you. So please go through them, especially MCQ questions. Please go through them because before we are going to discuss this thing, I think it is better to try them out. Okay. Therefore, it is better to go through the question paper before coming to the paper class. Okay, what is the answer today? You know, if you apply, but please listen to me very carefully. Please listen to me very carefully. I think actually, if you apply energy conservation law, yeah, you can get this one. You just need to apply energy conservation law. You just need to apply energy conservation law. Therefore, energy at this position should be equal to energy at this position. So initially there was only potential energy. Now it has potential plus kinetic. Again, potential plus kinetic. If this is the potential energy zero level. Okay. So if you can apply energy conservation to these two occasions, then you can get the velocity value put. So that is easy thing. But that's a very small method put, very short method. Yes, Gandhi. Yes, gas is correct. That's a very small method. No need to do any calculation. No need to do any calculation. Without doing any calculation, you can get the answer using your mind. How to do this? Look at this one. You know, initially it has an potential energy. So this energy is a constant. According to the energy conservation law, its potential energy should be constant. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise the hand. According to the energy conservation, this initial energy should be a constant. If it is clear, please raise the hand. Harry. Now you know energy. Potential energy is equal mgh. mgh. You know m is a constant, g is a constant. The only variable is h. Only variable is h. Therefore, if there is any potential energy reduction, it should be due to the reduction in h. Is that clear? මම එක වචනයක්වත් මේක ලියන්නේ නැහැ. වචනයක් අතරින් තෝගොල්ලෝ මේ අල්ලගන්න. ඈ හිතන්නේ. මට මේ ඕගොල්ලෝ තනියෙන් ඔළුවේ හිතන්න ඕනේ. මම කියන එක ඔළුවේ හිතන්න. නැත්නම් මම වැඩේ කරන්න බෑ. මම කියන එක ඔළුවේ හිතන්න නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලෝ මේක හැම වෙලෙම එහෙම වුණොත් නම් ෆිසික්ස් කරන්න බෑ. ඒක තමයි. හැම වෙලෙම හිතන්න. මම කියන දේ හොඳට තනියෙන් ඔළුවේ හිතන්න. හරි? You know this one, this energy. Initial energy is a potential energy that is equal to mgh. You know m and g are constant pute. Therefore, if there is a reduction in potential energy, it should be due to reduction of h. Is that clear? Is that clear? If you get that one, please raise the hand. I need responses from you. If you get that one, please raise the hand. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. The other argument. If there is a potential energy reduction, it should be converted into kinetic energy. If there's a potential energy reduction, that reduced amount should be equal to the kinetic energy at that level. The next argument, if you get that next argument, please raise the hand. The reduced amount of potential energy is equal to the increment of kinetic energy. Now it is very clear there is a reduction of 1 meter. There's a reduction of 1 meter. Therefore, that 1 meter should be proportional to kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. There is a reduction of 4 meter from here to here, 6 meter, 2 meter. Reduction of 4 meter. That means kinetic energy is corresponding to 4. 4. Value is not 4 pute, but that is corresponding, that is proportional to 4. Here kinetic energy proportional to 1, here kinetic energy proportional to 4. Therefore, kinetic energy at B over kinetic energy at C should be equal 1 over 4. 1 over 4. That is kinetic energy. That is kinetic energy. But you are asked the velocity. Velocity means square root of kinetic energy. Square root of kinetic energy. And therefore, that velocity ratio should be equal to square root of 1 over 4. That means half. Is that clear? පැහැදිලිද? ඒක තේරෙනවද අතුස්සන්න? ආන්සර් එක 2 නෙවෙයි half වෙන්න ඕනේ half හරි. half. VBOVC නෑ VBOVC. මෙතන වැඩි වෙන්න එපා පුතේ. ගාන්ධි. කවුද මේ ශෂ්මිද? Here velocity should be high. Velocity should be high. Therefore, this part should be high. Therefore, it cannot be a integer. It cannot be an integer. It should be a fraction. Okay. හරිද? ගාන්ධි ශෂ්මිද හරිද? Okay, if you got my explanation, please raise the hand. If you got my explanation, please raise the hand. I didn't write anything here. I didn't write anything here. If you got my explanation, please raise the hand. මම මේක ලිව්වේ නැතුණත් තේරුණා නම් තුස්සන්. ලිව්වේ නැතුණත් තේරුණා තුස්සන්. Very good. අන්න එහෙමයි answers ගන්න. Without doing anything, you can take the answer. හරිද පුතේ? I will give a review. මම review එකක් දෙනවා. මම review එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ වුණාට review එක දෙන්න කලින් මම answer එක ගන්නවා. review එක දෙන්න කලින් answer එක ගන්නේ හිතේ. ඒ හිතෙන් ගන්න විදිහ තමයි මම කියන්නේ. හරි? review එක දෙනවා. review එක දෙන්නේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට ආයෙ කවදා හරි බලන්න ඕනොත් එහෙම ඉතින් බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මේක මෙහෙමයි ගත්තේ කියලා. ඒ නිසා මම review එකක් දෙන්නම්. හැබැයි මතක තියාගන්න answer should be taken using your mind. Okay. We can just start review. Total energy is equal potential energy at A. Potential energy at A. Potential energy is equal mg into h. So this is a constant. This is a constant. Therefore, potential energy reduction should be directly proportional to h. H means height different from the initial point. H means height difference initial part. Then next argument. Potential energy reduction is equal kinetic energy at B and C. No, Pute, Shashwata, you cannot take two potential energy zero levels. You cannot take two potential energy zero level. And actually, at the ground, potential energy is not zero. There is a reference point only. There is a reference point only. So if you take this point as potential energy zero level, you cannot take this potential as this point as potential energy zero level again. Okay. Therefore, if you took this place as the potential energy zero level, then this is a negative potential energy. This level has a negative potential energy. Okay. Here potential energy is not zero. Is that clear? That is the point. The other things, when you are after doing your calculations, please check. Definitely, velocity at the C position, velocity at C position should be higher than the velocity at B. No, because this is a lower value. No, therefore, velocity or speed gradually increases. Speed gradually increases. Therefore, speed at this position should be high. Therefore, definitely, this cannot be an integer. Definitely, it should be a fraction value. It should be a fraction value. Right. Therefore, potential energy reduction at this position is corresponding to height reduction. Therefore, kinetic energy proportional to height reduction. Height reduction. Therefore, kinetic energy at B over kinetic energy at C is equal 6 minus 5 over 6 minus 2. That means 1 over 4. 1 over 4. Actually, this is my review, Pute. This is not the way of doing question. Therefore, this is the kinetic energy ratio. Therefore, velocity ratio V or VC should be equal to square root of sum of 4. That means half. That is half. Is that clear? So this is the review. Actually, this review is given if you forgot the way of doing this question, then you can go through the review, Puti. But remember, this is not the way of doing this question. You can do this question with your mind. Okay. Don't write anything. Don't write anything. Okay. Then look into question number 10. Look into question number 10. A truck traveling horizontally to the right. When the truck starts to slow down, the crane on the bed, that is a smooth bed put of the truck. Now, look at this one. Now there is a truck put there. Now there is a truck. This truck has a smooth bed. Bed means this one. Bed. This truck has a smooth bed put there, and on that bed there is a mass. Okay. Now both are moving into the same direction. Then now both are moving in the same direction. Both are moving in the same direction. So, but after some time, this truck slowed down. Then you are asked to determine what will happen to the motion of this block. What is your answer? What is your answer? What is your answer? What is your answer? Now there are 5 options. What is your answer? Tell me quickly. කට්ටියම answer එකක් දෙන්න. ටක් ගාලා කිව්වල question එක. No, Shashmita. Look at the questions. Please read the questions very carefully. Gandhi, Christine, lesson. No, lesson no. Read the questions very carefully. Question number 10. This is regarding question number 10. The truck is traveling horizontally towards the right. The truck is traveling horizontally towards the right. When the truck starts to slow down, the crates on the bed of the truck, and it is given bed is a smooth bed. Okay. No. Not putting. No, Deanit. Yes. Shashmita, you got the answer. No, still no. Kalasit? No, listen. Yes, Deanit, your answer is correct. Your answer is correct. There are 2 correct answers. Vishwara, yes it? No. Vishwara answer so correct. Correct answer. Then guess කරන්න ලේසි වාට. Yes. Now you have to build the argument. You have to build the argument. Okay. Your answer is correct. Gandhi? Lasit? Lasit ada niya right? No, Pute. No. That is most popular answer, but that is not the correct one. No. Ha. Now tell me, everyone, please listen to me, everyone. Now tell me, what is this about? What is the theory behind this, Pute? Can anyone guess what is the theory behind this? If you know the theory behind this, then you can understand how to get the answer. What is the theory behind this? Shashwata, what is the theory behind this? Neeraj? Nasadu? What is the theory behind this? Behind this question? මේ ක්වෙස්චන් එකත් එක්ක තියෙන තියරි එක මොකද්ද? මොකක් ගැනද මෙයා මේ අහන්නේ? මොකද්ද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉවැලුවේට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ? මොන නොලෙජ් එකද? How to get this answer? What is the theory behind this? So you have to understand the theory, Buddha. Otherwise, you cannot get the answer. I think you don't understand that thing. That is the problem. Look at this one. Everyone, please listen to me. This is very, very important thing. This is really very important thing because this kind of theory, actually, this theory is a very special theory. Sometimes there may be questions, but we cannot understand those questions are based on that theory. That is the most critical part. That is the most we have to consider that part because otherwise we cannot get those answers. Actually, there may be a lot of questions. There may be some questions regarding this theory part. The most important thing is if we are given this kind of questions, sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, we cannot understand that is the theory behind this question. That is the most important thing regarding this theory. So this is regarding inertia. Inertia. This is regarding inertia. What is inertia? What is inertia? What is inertia? Did you get that part? This is regarding inertia. This question is based on inertia. Inertia. What is the meaning of inertia? Meaning of inertia? Yes. Not resistant to move it. Resistant to change the current moving condition. Resistant to change the current state of motion. Actually, any object has a resistance to change the current state of motion. If that object needs to change the current state of motion, there should be a requirement. What is the requirement? What is the requirement? Actually, there is a resistance. Actually, there is a resistance to change the current state of motion. Any object do not like to change the current state of motion. Unless what? Unless what? Yes, very good. Yes. Unless there is a external unbalanced force. External unbalanced force. Therefore, if there is an external unbalanced force, if there is an external unbalanced force, then only we can change the state of motion. Then only we can change the state of motion. Like Therefore, if you want to change the state of motion of any object, definitely there should be a force put it. Otherwise, we cannot change. Otherwise, you cannot change. That is inertia, and that is the theory behind Newton's first law. That is the theory behind Newton's first law. If you want to change the current state of motion of any object, definitely there should be a force. Otherwise, we cannot change the motion. We cannot change the current motion. Definitely. Therefore, now it is very clear, as there is a smooth surface, there is no any friction force exerted on this object. Therefore, there is no way to have a force into this direction. Like Therefore, there's no way to have a force into this direction, into horizontal direction. Therefore, there is no force exerted on this object into the horizontal direction. Therefore, its horizontal motion will not be changed as there is no force. As there is no force into the horizontal direction, the motion of the object will not be changed. Okay. Therefore, as this vehicle slow down, but this object had the initial speed, and that speed will not be changed. Therefore, it will move into the right-hand direction with respect to this vehicle, because now vehicle is slow down, that its velocity is going down, but it has a constant velocity which is higher than the vehicle. Okay. Therefore, it will move into the right-hand side of force, as that's not force. So this is regarding inertia and Newton's first law. Therefore, if you want to change the current moving condition, there should be an external unbalanced force. If there is not, definitely that object will not change its motion. Okay. Did you get that one? If you get that one, please raise the hand. Okay, thank you. Then write this. Then write this you. This question is based on inertia. This question is based on inertia. Inertia වලින් question එකක් ආවොත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ළමයි අඳුර ගන්න නැහැ. No, but there's a deceleration on this vehicle. Yes, definitely there is a force on this vehicle, but there's no way to apply the force on this mass. Definitely there should be a friction force, otherwise there's no way to apply a force. How to apply force? Come on, force apply because there's a smooth bed, no? There's a smooth bed, and otherwise there's no any contact between the lorry and this mass. The only contact is this smooth surface. As there's a smooth surface, there's no way to exert friction. That means what? That means yes, because there's if suppose this in real life there's a friction force. Definitely there's a friction force. In real life, there's no way to apply a smooth surface on a bed. No? Definitely there's a friction force. So in real life, definitely we cannot create a frictionless surface. No, definitely there's a force. In day-to-day life, if you have this kind of scenario, we cannot accept there is no frictionless condition. There is frictionless condition. Definitely there's a friction. Definitely there's a friction. Okay. Yes, that is correct, Sashmita. That is correct. But we cannot go that much of distance. No, we cannot go because actually for this question, uh, actually we don't want to think how this object is start to move. We don't want to think, because that is not relevant to our answer. Our answer is based on what will happen after this incident. So there is a way of moving this object. So we are not given that thing. We are not given that thing. There definitely to start the motion of this object, to start the initial motion, definitely there should be a external force put in. Therefore, during the start of vehicle, that force might be given. Okay, but due to this frictionless surface, there is no way to exert external force in this object. Therefore, we don't want to consider about the initial condition. Actually, we have to consider about the final condition only. Okay? Did you get that one? Then අපිට මේක ස්ටාර්ට් කරේ කොහොමද මේකේ අම්මා කවුද තාත්තා කවුද එහෙම වැඩක් නෑ. හරි අපිට අවශ්‍ය මෙතනින් පස්සේ ආන්සර් එකට ක්වෙස්චන් එකට ආන්සර් එකක් දෙන්න විතරයි. හරි? හරි. මොකක්ද මම කිව්වේ අන්තිම සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එක ගන්නකො. What was my last sentence? What was my last sentence? Yeah, this question is based on inertia. Inertia. Uh, if there's no force, if there's no force, if there's no force, exerted on an object. Exerted on an object. Its current moving condition will not be changed. Its current moving condition will not be changed. According to Newton's first law, according to Newton's first law, according to the Newton's first law, an object, an object an object tends, tends, an object tends to stay in a state of motion. An object tends to stay, to stay, tends to stay in its state of motion. In its state of motion. Unless, unless at, unless at unless at upon by an external unbalanced force. Unless act upon by external unbalanced force. Writing on the para. As the lorry bed is a smooth surface, as a lorry bed is a smooth surface, there is no external force exerted on the object. There is no external force exerted on the object into the horizontal direction. There is no external force exerted on the object into the horizontal direction. Therefore, its horizontal motion, therefore, its horizontal motion, therefore, its horizontal motion will not be changed, will not be changed. And it can sleep. Yes, it can sleep, but it can sleep. There is a motion with it. Now there's a smooth surface. Now there's a smooth surface. So if on this smooth surface, now there's a child. If this child is in the same position, then there is no way to slip this child with it. But if this child start to move, then there's a possibility of slip. If this child start to move, then he can slip with it. But if this child has no motion means if this child is in a rest condition, then there's no way to falling down with it. And therefore, there's no way to sleep if there's no motion. Motion and නැත්තම් sleep වෙන්න බෑ. Now there's a sleep. Now there's a sleep. No? Yeah. Then may sleep වෙනවා. Initially there was no sleep. Initially there was no sleep because both object and the vehicle have same velocity. Both object and vehicle have same velocity initially. Initially they have both of them have same velocity. Initially, therefore there's no relative motion between them. There's no relative motion between them. Therefore, initially there is no way to sleep. But after applying brake, now this is slow down with it, slowing down. Therefore, now there's a sleep. And sleep pending. So what is the reason for sleep? Due to this inertia. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding this? Well, questions තියෙනවද? Okay. Okay, after doing this session, actually, now we can stop this session. Then you can take a break. Then we will start our theory lesson. Theory lesson other product questions product theory lesson then after this break we will start theory lesson. Remember that thing in our Tuesday class we will do the same lesson, circular motion and rotational motions, because we have to complete that. We have to complete the lesson today. Then after completion of rotational motion and circular motion, we will do the rest of mechanics lessons in one class. In the other class, we will start waves lessons. Okay, that will be our future plan. Okay, now you can take a break. 5:10. Okay. Take a half an hour break. Then please come at 5:10. Then we will start to do rotational motions, rotational motion and circular motion. Okay. I think all of you have this tube. I think all of you have this tube. So if any student need to take this one, please give me a message. Then I will send that to you. Okay. මොකද මේක තමයි අපි note එක තියෙන්නේ. Okay, again I will send this group, send this tube to the group. Okay. මම මේ ටියුට් එක ඇසල group එකට දාන්නම්. මේ ටියුට් එක group එකට දාන්න. මේ ටියුට් එක නෙවෙයි මේක note එකක්. හොඳේ මේ note එක group එකට දාන්නම්. ආයෙ පාර පොඩ්ඩක් බලා ගන්න hard copies ආවෙ නැති කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා නම් මම හිතනවා දැන් hard copies ඇවිල්ලා ඇති කියලා. hard copies ඇවිල්ලා නැත්නම් හම්බුනේ නැත්නම් පොඩ්ඩක් මේ මම group එකට දාන එක පොඩ්ඩක් බලා ගන්න. මොකද මේක තමයි අපේ note එක. Okay, now you can take a break. Okay, now you can take a break. And I will stop the recording of my paper class from here. Then please log into the class using the same link. Please log into the class using the same link. Okay. Now I'm going to stop this recording because this is the paper class project. Therefore, theory lesson will be recorded separately.